Man, you guys ready for another big weekend in college football? We have Colorado versus USC. We got Texas versus Kansas. And I know there's a lot more, but those are the two games that are definitely circled on my calendar. Let's talk about some of these matchups with my guy, Adam Breneman, college football analyst for CBS Sports and the Big Ten Network. He's also a UMass guy, by the way, of Penn State. Adam, what's going on, my man?
Appreciate having me on, man. Excited to be here.
All right, let's break it down. You just told me that you're going out to this game. We got number 8, USC versus Colorado. Can Coach Prime and his boys bounce back? We got Caleb Williams versus Shedeur Sanders. What can we expect?
I'm excited to be out there. It's gonna be a Hollywood scene out in Boulder, man. Early kickoff. I'm expecting a slow start. It really feels like a bounce back game for both teams. USC last week was at Arizona State, didn't look great. Offense wasn't humming. The defense didn't look very good. So it feels like a bounce-back game for both programs. I think USC wins this one handedly. I like USC this season. I know their defense isn't great, but when you can average 60, 70 points a game, I don't care how bad your defense is. It doesn't matter because you can just throw the football, and you have the best player in the nation in Caleb Williams. Colorado is a much different team with Travis Hunter than they are without him. So I don't see this one being very close.
All right, bad news for Coach Prime and his boys because Caleb Williams and his boys are coming, and they'll be there real soon. All right, another game we got. Number 24, Kansas, at number 3, Texas. Are the Longhorns back this year?
I think they're back. Anytime you have a quarterback, you got a chance, and Quinn Ewers is one of the best in the country. We recruited him when I was coaching at Arizona State. I remember him seeing his high school film and thinking this guy's going to be special. So I do think this will be a good game. Kansas and Texas. Kansas is really emerging as a program. Their head coach, Lance Leipold, has done a phenomenal job of building that program up, acquiring big-time talent. Their running back, Devin Neal at Kansas, is one of the best backs in the country. I think he'll have a big game. So I think this one will be close. I think Kansas will play well, but I see Texas winning this game, and I think Texas makes the college football playoff. I do think Texas is back. Brandon, we've been saying that for years now. I think Texas is back. I think it's finally true. I think Texas football is officially back on the map.
All right, we're going to wait and see if they can keep that momentum going. But you mentioned Kansas and how they've taken steps with their program. I can't remember if I've ever been like, oh, I can't wait to watch a Kansas game. I think they could maybe be able to pull this upset off. All right, last but not least, your guys, number 6, Penn State, got a quarterback. They're looking good this year. Is this the year of the Nittany Lion and James Franklin?
Penn State's never been closer to making the playoff than this season. They have all the pieces. James Franklin's done a phenomenal job at Penn State building that program up, and he's been there for a long time, 10 years now. I played for him. That's how long he's been there. Drew Aller, their quarterback, is a special talent. The question at Penn State for a long time has been that quarterback position. Do they have someone who's elite enough to get them to the playoff? They do now. Drew Aller can make every throw, can create. His best stat of the season has been 0 turnovers. Hasn't turned the football over. They've been good on offense. Not really explosive on offense, but efficient and methodical, averaging 40-some points a game, 450 yards of offense a game. And their defense is lights out. They are athletic and fly around. As you know, Brandon, this season will run through the Michigan and Ohio State for Penn State. You got to win one of those games. I think Penn State matches up better with Ohio State than they do with Michigan. I think just from a personnel standpoint, I think Penn State can beat Ohio State this year. The Michigan game is going to be a struggle because of how big Michigan is up front. And Penn State's not as big in their defensive front seven. So that game will be a challenge, but Penn State's never been closer. And for James Franklin, for as good of a job as he's done, at some point you got to win the big one, get to the Big Ten championship, and get to the college football playoff. I don't think they've ever been closer than they are right here in 2023.
I've always been a James Franklin guy. He and my father have a great relationship. And we must be living in some weird times because we're talking about Penn State having a quarterback. Last but not least, I didn't put this on the email. Our UMass Minutemen host Arkansas State. Can our Minutemen get it done?
It's going to be a tough one. Arkansas State's a good program. But those kind of games, man, anyone can win. UMass is at home. They've played well throughout the start of the season. There's no way to look at this UMass program and not say that it's way better than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The product on the field is much better. The big win to start the season, week 1 against New Mexico State, Don Brown's doing a great job. He's acquiring the right talent, using the transfer portal the right way. It's just going to take time, man. They got to build it for the long term and not take shortcuts and get the right culture and talent in there. I have no doubt that Don Brown and Ryan Bamford, the athletic director, that they'll build this thing the right way. And UMass, at the end of the day, has to get in a conference. We got to get in conference. Conference USA, AAC, someone come take us, man. Someone come take UMass into a conference.
Sitting there looking in the window inside all the conferences, like, let us in, let us in.
Let us in, man.
Let us in. All right, forget all the other games we talked about. Make sure you guys check out that UMass game. Adam, tell the people where they can find you real fast.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, at Adam Breneman 81. My podcast, Next Up Podcast. You can find it on YouTube. Appreciate it, man.
He's absolutely killing it, man. You guys got to check out the content that he puts out. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brandon.